Okey dokey.
What do we do here? Just bless them?
Russ,
Yeah, it's just a blessed letter. Doesn't mean a hill of beans.
you've got a minute to get here.
Is Mike getting it? Well, then I won't then. Okay.
Now I think he's only got 30 seconds. He better be skating in here.
It's 5:30.
Oh, here
Who's
he
there?
comes. Here he comes. I see him. He's coming down the hall.
You got that one. Right on time.
You're right here on time.
Might as well just stay standing. That's like
Yeah, I was going to say, welcome, and would you please stand and pledge allegiance with us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Any additions or deletions?
Coulter would like to make a presentation.
Colbert, go ahead. Colbert's got.
Mr. Mayor, this time I'd like to call some recognition to all my officers. So, on April 8, 2026, a 911 call was received at approximately 9:09 p.m. stating that a 1-year-old infant was not breathing and requesting assistance. Officer Shane Pierce, while off duty, noticed the call for assistance was 2 houses away from his own. With little hesitation, he got dressed and ran on foot to the residence. Upon arrival, he took over providing life-saving measures until EMS personnel arrived. The infant was transported to the emergency room and ultimately to a hospital in Colorado, where he spent days under the care and observation of pediatric specialists. Upon their return, I was able to speak with family members who told me that medical staff credited the quick actions of both the baby's grandmother and Officer Pierce for saving his life. This incident demonstrates the commitment our officers have to the safety of our community. Even when no one expected it to, Officer Pierce chose to put others before himself. This aligns perfectly with the values of our department and deserves recognition. Thank you, Officer Pierce, and keep up the good work. I want to present Officer Pierce with his certificate.
He's going, no,
I'm not going to the hospital
I
again.
don't like you.
Stranger danger.
Open with the Lacey. Good boy.
Thank you.
That was really nice.
Moving on, is there a motion to approve council meeting minutes of April 13th, 2023, and executive session of April 13th, 2026, sorry.
Hang on just a second.
I did not bring the executive session minutes down, so if you want to postpone those until you can see them.
I'll make a motion we approve both.
A motion to approve both, is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
The executive session minutes don't say anything specific anyways.
Say anything
There you go. Yeah.
Hearing no discussion, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Reports, Councilwoman Colley.
Last Monday, I attended an information sharing session at Casper College. Prometheus group was there, and the Wyoming Outdoor Council was there, as was via Zoom, people from the power company to address different issues. There was a lot of good information shared. And I brought back a white paper from the Wyoming Outdoor Council in reference to data center policies in Wyoming. Some things to look at. It's a time well spent.
Make copies of those.
I can.
You would, yeah, have Tammy do it.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you. Councilwoman Nunn.
Yes, are you ready?
She's got her notebook out tonight.
It's like too much.
It is. The National Civics Bee. The regional competition for the National Civics Bee was held April 23rd here in Glen Rock. A total of 43 students from our school entered this competition, with the top 15 chosen from essays that were judged by judges from across the United States. The competition consisted of 3 rounds. 2 rounds were civic-based questions and 1 round of questions from a panel of judges regarding the essay. A composite score from these 3 rounds determined the winners. For your information, this was a rather difficult essay to write. It had to have 4 points in it. First, the student had to identify a specific opportunity or problem or challenge to the community. Second, they had to describe the steps they would take to make change. Third, they had to find support to help bring the idea to life. And fourth, they had to connect their idea to the values that shaped our country. And these were civics values like private property, rights of people, equality, consent of the government. So it was a rather technical essay to have to write. They did a very good job. All 3 top winners will go to the state competition, with the top state winner getting a trip to Washington, D.C. to compete at the national level for a $100,000 529 plan award. It'd be really nice if we brought that back to Glen Rock, Mr. Felton. It'd be really nice if we brought that back to Glen Rock.
It wasn't me.
Oh. The local winners are third, Ira Haskell, and he received $125. Second, Savannah Felton, $250. And first, Roland Hibbs received a $500 check for their work. I would like to thank Kim Martin for the work that she did to put this project on, and to all the people at Elevate who worked to support the project. And definitely not to be left out, thanks to the parents and teachers who offered support and encouragement to these young people. These people are the future of our community. It was my pleasure to sit on the panel of judges. It was really a nice event. Very impressive, I thought. Landfill. This is Putnam, Chris. Bruce, don't worry. Still a work in progress, the completion of our handbook and creating a pay scale, both of which should help our facility work more efficiently. Greens Department continues to work to offer materials and food for the people of our community. Creating more and better compost and engaging children in gardening are among their focuses. Again, if you have not checked out the gardens, please do so, as it is becoming a model for other landfills and is an amazing place to visit. Whoever thought you could grow anything in a basic pile of Wyoming sand? And just a couple of quick notes. For the first time in 8 years I've been on the council, I can read the sign on 4th Street directing traffic to Deer Creek and Dinosaur Museum. This is not an easy statement for a tree fan to make, but it was a good move to remove those trees. Prometheus, as Judy said, has much interest going on again. We need to keep an eye on what's happening on that project. Not that our input will probably have any great influence. Hopefully, this will be a very positive project for our community. The landscape of our state and our community is changing with a number of very large energy projects coming to Wyoming. Maybe now we could identify just a bit with the Indians who once lived in our very area and called Wyoming home. They fought wagon trains, and we fight wind towers for the same reason. We love our homeland.
You done?
Wake up, Bruce, wake up.
Roy?
I have no messages. Hey, Margaret covered it pretty good.
Okay. Doug?
I met with Prometheus today, spent about an hour and a half with them, talked about the project, talked about a lot of options. They dispelled a couple of the biggest myths, which are water usage. Their cooling is not water. They're using a different product for cooling than water. So there will be water usage, but from their man camp kind of stuff. but they're actually cooling with a different product. He told me the name of the product, and I can't remember what it is, but it's a specific blend that's made in Casper for them. Without the industrial siding, they ask a lot of questions about industrial siding type things, like what the communities could use. So I gave a few ideas that way of how it could help Glen Rock. Nice people to talk to for now.
We've got a meeting with them later this week.
Yep.
Well,
Nice.
just out of curiosity, what kind of ideas did you give them, how they could help the community?
We talked about the Veterans Park and some financial assistance for that possibly. We talked about improvements to other parks in town. We talked about improvements to trees and other things around town. Talked about some nonprofits in town. Gave them some ideas of what the nonprofits in town are. We'll see what they do with it.
Do you think that our police station, our police people, our fire people, our ambulance people are going to be okay if this comes booming down our way?
That's hard to answer that question. I think on the law enforcement side, it's going to be a sheriff's office issue, primarily instead of a Glen Rock PD issue. They're planning on being self-contained and building their own little city out there for construction, to where they'll have their own EMS folks on site that live there. They'll have their own law enforcement or security on site. Their plan is for people not to travel every day back and forth during the build process. It's you come on site, stay here. They're going to have their own cafeteria, their own everything, where people don't have to leave. We'll see how that works out. Talked about the bridge to nowhere. Firewise,
Is that a 24-hour shift thing?
I don't know the answer to that. We didn't get that deep in the weeds. They just signed their first tenant to the project, so it looks like it is going to be happening. So it was good talk.
Interesting, very interesting.
Thank you. Tammy Clerk.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just a couple of deadlines to remind everybody. Corbly scholarship applications are due by the 8th, and the Big Broom is scheduled for the 11th through the 15th of May. On the 8th, the afternoon of the 8th, I will have tree pickup, so those will already be at the landfill the afternoon of the 8th for the trees for trash. And then lastly, just a reminder that we have the quarterly commissioners dinner tomorrow, 5 o'clock at Rosie's.
Tammy, one question about the, excuse me, Big Broom. Do people need to call in and ask to have put up, or they just pile it up and say, they come?
Yes, it's the same as it's been every year. You have to call in or come in to Florrie's office, and she's got a schedule. I ran an ad, should be running this week and next week, that'll have the date.
How to do this.
Yeah,
so
how to
people
do
know
it.
what to do.
There's a list of trees that are going to be available, but yeah, you just call or stop into the utility department, and she's got a schedule in there. You sign up for your date, and then you have your trash out at the curb. They'll come by and pick it up. There's a list of things that they won't pick up. Cars, anything with coolant.
Are they going to do tires, or is that still off limit?
I believe we don't take tires.
No.
Not supposed to unless there's one, but no. We don't take air conditioners or refrigerators, freezers, anything with Freon.
Yep.
It costs the town to evacuate. Don't really want to take a lot of heavy construction stuff. We'll take
Some.
houses. But
Did you take paint?
what's that?
Paint?
Not really. We can.
Margaret?
Pick up
Are you taking tires up there?
That's what I was thinking. It's old.
You have to pay $6 a
gallon.
ton.
Yeah, that's
Gallon things that are set out, separated, yeah.
That's all I have.
The scholarship stuff, can you explain that? How much is it? How many did we give in the past? How many applications do we have?
It depends. They give us they'll let us know what the amount is. It has varied from year to year. It's depended on the interest. But they are starting to, I think there's an end date for that scholarship, so they're starting to up the amount, but I don't know what that amount's going to be just yet. And in the past, years and years ago, we kind of set up a committee that with different people each year, but we have in the last few years just gone ahead and taken all of the applications and just divided it up, and they've still gotten some pretty decent scholarships.
Depends on how many people
Yeah,
apply for it.
yeah.
So then do we present that, does the town present that to them at Cap and T the following week, or?
If we get the scholarships, and a lot of times we
Taken
get
by
them.
the 8th, Cap and T is the following Tuesday.
Yeah, so that sometimes Bruce has gone and presented that.
That, or Margaret has also presented.
I think last year they were late. I mean, we could
Yeah.
do it
Yes,
at the
we have
graduation
some kind
last year.
of-
Stagger, I was just curious.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's a good thing.
I hope you can send somebody to go and have that experience. It's a nice thing to do, to go to the high school.
I think
and see
somebody
this.
should go do that.
Or
We'll
somebody
make a
else.
motion on that.
Or somebody else.
Yeah, I'd be glad to help in whatever.
Okay.
I
It's
can
a
take
nice-
cookies.
It's a nice experience, Judy. You'd enjoy it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll help.
Kelly, treasurer.
Evening, Mayor and Council. Really don't have a lot other than thank you all for the hard work at the budget session. We did get the workbook in from the state, and I'm working on the revenues continually. No clear answers, but
When is our next
it's
budget?
clear. I haven't set it yet. This week, I think, is looking a little hairy, but next week should be fine. We can discuss whenever for a night, walk through the rest of it. And working on a couple census reports and a couple of things federally that way. So,
Okay. John, Public Works.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Last week, we had 3 of our employees go into Casper to go to conference, water conference, get their hours for their education, for their licenses. We also, tomorrow, will have 5 people go out and do the PFAS, that's the plastics in the water, the training how to sample for that. I have that coming up. That's a DEQ grant that they put out, that's all paid for to train us. So we'll get a couple hours of education off that for them 5 individuals, and that's all free of charge. That'll take us through our first sampling session. After that, we'll have to do that on our own and send it in. The construction, 4th Street's going pretty good. They're mostly done. They've laid the main in Deer Street. They're about to start putting services into each of the house from the new main, probably tomorrow or this week. So that they sent in a back tee to make sure that the water's safe today, so I anticipate that happening in the next probably day or 2, that they'll have that and start putting in services. The storage building's come along pretty good. They got almost all the tin on I think they finished the roof today finally, and all the walls are up. The inside's insulated. It's looking pretty good.
So if I find some things at the county, we'll be able to store it there?
What's that? If you find new trucks, fire trucks,
Anything like that,
you
yeah.
want to take home, that's not up to me. The fire hall, they run into a hiccup. We're going to have a meeting tomorrow. We'll have our regular progress meeting, but we're going to have a meeting with them tomorrow with the architects and the engineer and the contractor and see what they do on that. But they're moving pretty good. They got the red iron up, and I see that they have quite a bit of the tin up on the bottom today. On the bathroom over there, they poured the footer today, so I think they'll be pouring the foundation here in a few days or a week or so. They're moving along pretty good on that. And then I did order an elevator to be, because it's 6 to 8 weeks out, so I did order that. That'll have to be some construction to house the little unit on the bottom of the building there by the Well, are you familiar where the lift is? There's the little chairs there from the old theater. There'll be a little closet in the corner there that they have to house the hydraulic unit in. So we'll have to have that constructed, and then they'll install the elevator when we get that going. I'm not anticipating that for a little bit, because it's like 6 to 8 weeks before they even receive it in Denver's, where they're coming out of Morningstar. Same outfit that put the elevator in Town Square. That's about all I have.
I gotta ask, what's the hiccup at the fire hall?
What?
What's the hiccup at the fire hall?
Someone didn't know how to read a tape measure, I do believe, because the
There's a rough line
roof is
problem.
about even with the third of the way up the windows on the top level of that northeast wall. So now there's got to be a solution for that.
We'll move the windows.
I don't know. I learned how to read a tape.
It's always cheaper to do it the second time.
Yeah, especially when the architect will get to pay for it.
Yep.
Thank you.
You bet.
Wow, building inspector.
Evening, Mayor and Council. 35 building permits for the year. Golf course getting ready to kick itself off. That building looks pretty nice, so that'll be a nice addition. They are going to put electronic display, like we said, so we'll talk to the Planning Commission and come up with some rules there for a display in an R1 zone. Cinema Cafe is rolling along, finishing up their kitchen. Everything else is pretty much done, so it looks pretty nice. And still sending out some invitations to the Big Broom 2 weeks from today. The Lincoln Building, that abatement is finished up. They did a really nice job of cleaning up. They got a little overzealous with their window frames when they took out the windows, so we'll probably end up doing some work there in the future. But that's all I got.
Chivy, event coordinator.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor and Council. This will be the last week I'll be accepting applications for summer staff help, and then I will start hiring. And also you'll start seeing more advertising come out. I have a paper that from the Douglas and Glen Rock paper. They're making a packet that's going to have all the events in it as well. Facebook's going to be ramping up events starting next week, so a lot more advertising. And other than that, just getting ready for cleaning. Opening day of the splash pad is the 23rd until we get into June.
Chevy, what is the minimum age that a kid can be to be hired at the park?
At the town square, I would prefer 16 would be nice. I would take a 15-year-old if they lived close. Just, it'd be nice if they would drive, especially if they live far away. Yeah.
Thank you.
Tammy, are there any regulations that the town has on age and
No.
the state requirements?
We've had one that was under 16. When she started, and she's actually still with us, and it's been several years.
But are there
I mean,
rules or anything on, for instance, they can't use heavy equipment?
We don't use that over there, and we typically.
Does the state have anything? And
I don't know. But
I thought at one time there were things like they couldn't use certain dangerous equipment like lawnmowers.
Lawns mowed by Public Works.
But we don't have them like
Lawns
that.
mowed by Public
Yeah,
Works.
no, I'm just wondering what in general, so
And-
we'd know what they can and can't do.
I think we.
If there are any, I don't know.
Mainly it's just the concession. The only thing, like equipment-wise, that I have down there is my broom for the artificial grass. And you have to be pretty hefty to run that sucker, so I usually do it, or I have the 17-year-old kid, male, do it. But other than that, it's just mainly trash. There's really not, they're not balancing pool chemicals or anything like that. It's nothing.
I would think a 17-year-old female could do it too.
Oh, of course, yeah, if you want to. It's not fun, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah, no, notice I'm not volunteering to do it.
Chevy, have you had several young people applying to work there this summer?
I have about 2 applications in, 1 coming, so there's some interest.
And how many jobs do you have?
I would hire about 1 to 2.
1 to 2?
Depending on their like availability, yeah.
Any other questions for Chevy? Not, we'll move on to Colder, Chief of Police.
Evening, Mayor and Council. Keep it pretty brief tonight, but I have one officer that made it into the academy today, took her PT test, and she's off and running. A little bit concerned about having to get sprayed with OC, so I've been working today to scramble to make sure we get those training records so she can avoid that again. The WASCOP conference is all this week, so I'm going to be up and down trying to attend some of the training that's up there. They've got some pretty good speakers up there, but be back and forth. The Boys and Girls fundraiser is Thursday night this week. If anybody hasn't already, I would suggest getting a table and coming down. It looks like a pretty good show this year, so that's all I got.
Okay. Is there any items from the floor this evening?
Are we on the agenda or?
You are on the agenda, yes, for your permits,
Sorry.
Unless it's something other than the permit.
other than your alcohol and open container and alcohol permits.
If it's just a permit, you're on the agenda.
Permits are on the agenda, yeah.
rest of the stuff that I had written down on the agenda or no?
Can we talk about the stuff that's not?
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't put a schedule of events on the agenda just because they're not.
Okay. So with the permits,
Chris, right? You guys know
No.
Chris? Yeah. All right. John? Is that good?
Yeah, we noticed you.
Okay, all right.
with the permits, we have quite a few town
Not the permit, anything.
asks.
Okay, sorry.
The one, we would like permission to use the parking lot off of Birch Street and 3rd Street, Friday and Saturday.
The rumor mill?
Yeah, the parking lot right back
Town hall
here.
parking right here where, oh, One Oak Parks?
Okay, yeah.
If, I don't know if you guys could ask One Oak for us to park there Friday and Saturday?
Is that where they're?
I know last year you guys did, I thought.
Yeah,
don't know if Kim
I
did
think
or
they
you
moved
guys
all their
did.
vehicles off of there for,
Until Sunday morning.
yeah, till Sunday morning, if you'll contact them and have them park somewhere else for the,
Yeah. What you got?
And then we'd also like to see if the city could put out some no parking signs on Cedar Street between 2nd and 4th. Just, we've got like 3-on-3 basketball and stuff, and we want to keep that open for emergency.
yeah, we've
Access.
marked those in the past for you.
Okay. And then we'd, I don't know if this one's covered
Was
too.
that closure of?
We've applied for a DOT permit to close Birch Street, one for the parade, and then for the activities that we have on Friday and Saturday night between 4th and 2nd Street. And then we'd also like to ask if we can close off Millar Lane to only allow local access.
Saturday
and Sunday.
Last year, I called Coulter too. They come out, I mean, it was just packed. And what we'd like to do is have them bust from the school over. So we're asking to close Millar, prevent a flood of
Car.
yeah, down there. They all park at the high school, bus, walk, or something. But that depends on if you guys listen.
Well, Millar, we get all the traffic down it to go down on into Brubaker and all the rest of it in there through that
We
corner.
wouldn't close it to local traffic, like people that live down there have a reason, just people coming to the event.
It's going to be interesting.
How would we regulate that?
Yeah, I don't know how we regulate
We
who's,
have to have somebody man it. I don't know. That's why we're here having this conversation.
I mean,
I
Because
just,
last
I
year
thought,
it was a problem.
I mean, Mike could do it. He's retired
I thought
now.
his hand went up a little bit.
It is.
His hand is up.
It is.
Mike? No?
That's, are you talking about closing it at 2026 or down by the park
Probably by Riders, where Riders was, somewhere right in there.
at Brubaker?
Yeah.
How long are you wanting it to be closed, John?
So what time you thinking? Saturday, probably.
Saturday from about 10 to 4, and then Sunday from about 8 to 3.
I wish you guys would have brought that up to us sooner. It's going to be a little hard to get that information out to the public that that's going to be restricted that and down into the RV park and everything else. I don't know how we're going to get it done.
What about the town park? I mean, you know, we can go left in the town park. Can we close it there?
Isn't it usually closed down there?
Well, sometimes it's open for but if we have somebody man it, then the people that are setting up for vendors.
Right.
Just keep the people that
Need to be there.
Oh, yes.
Right.
This doesn't create a problem for like the fire department or an emergency situation if we have people like in the RV park down there or something, that they had something come up really quickly that they couldn't immediately get help. I mean,
If we have it closed off, then there will be less traffic there, less people parking along the sides of the road, all of that. They would have better access.
Are you going to be able to man it, or are you asking
yeah,
the
right.
town to man it?
We need volunteers. Are you asking?
No, no.
I'm kidding.
I'm just.
Yeah, that's
trying to
the
figure out
idea.
if
We'd
we're
have to have
wanting,
somebody man it.
like, police department out there manning it, or
You're raising your hand. Say something.
Okay, what if the parking spots on Millar into the park, the backside of it, where like the skate park used to be and everything, if we blocked that off and didn't allow people to park in there, and then just put no parking signs on Millar, and then assign the city event parking at the high school. That way
Yeah,
you're
it's
not
in our
closing
budget
off
to
the
have a sign.
road, but then you're just not allowing people to park on Millar.
And it's the parking that's the issue for you guys, right?
They just line up both sides of the mill.
But I would think no parking signs would be the most effective thing, maybe.
How many no parking signs do we got, John? Not
That's what I was
many.
about to ask.
What I worry about is people getting in there and trying to turn around and they see the signs and stuff, getting congested.
Well, we're going to have a sign at the turn on the highway in Millar.
Saying go to the high school.
Saying, yeah, parking at the shuttle or whatever from the high school, which we're still working logistics on that, so.
Have you got an okay with the school to be parking out there and using their parking lot
Still
for the
working on
weekend?
that. Well, last year we were able to, Saturday?
I know they used it one day.
Yeah, and then, but Sunday, we need to use it again. So,
Interesting.
What did we use for shuttles last year?
I think just a bus, maybe one of the shorter buses.
School donate that time and a person to drive it?
We paid the salary.
Oh, yeah.
And diesel, obviously.
I see both sides of this.
Yeah.
I do
It's a difficult
too.
situation, and we're a little late to the table. We apologize about that, but it's been tough.
Coulter, do you have any comments on how this could affect anything out there?
I think last year it was a mess with all the cars parked up and down the road. It definitely is harder with all those cars because they line both sides. And like any problem, once there's 47 cars on each side of the road, it's really tough to get them to turn around and leave again.
Yeah, that's what I worry about.
As far as my staffing goes, to be able to have somebody down there, like that's 6, 7. It's hard to say during the daytime, right? I mean, if you guys are on other calls, because I generally staff only one officer on during the day at those events, so it's hard for them to be tied up to all that parking. I think if we had no parking signs, it'd be great, but I also understand that we're trying to put those on every street in town pretty much.
We buy some.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
We could try.
I would lean towards more no parking on one side of the street.
At least one side of the street not being parked, because you get parking on both sides of it, then you can't
gets
get
tight.
you can't get too past each other down in there after that.
And then try to turn around.
Oh, I think this is a conversation that we're not going to solve tonight.
No, we're not.
But I don't know when it's going to be solved. I guess on
Hopefully before the
June
end of the
26th.
Well, we come back and you guys want to talk again in a couple of weeks, or?
Yeah, we need to do something, and so we can come up with an idea, because if we're going to need more of our, whether our officers will work days off or not, and cover to pay those guys and everything. I don't think we're going to get them.
I don't have officers on days off during the
Also-
It's working, but I could move something around if I work with, if you want. I mean, I could probably get with these guys and we could work with Sean at the fire hall and see if he has any concerns, and as well as John, and see what we can come up with too.
I think it seems like in years past, whoever's been, the group, I know you guys have had turnover and such, but they've worked with the departments. Because John would know more about what he has available or what he can do during that time, as does Coulter versus anybody up here.
Years in past, they've allowed people to park in that back non-irrigated area by the mud volleyball.
Yeah, we usually try to keep the mud volleyball people in there. Because there's how many people, how many on a team? 6, so already 100
We
people
can
down
talk
there,
about it.
plus family.
I don't know where our workshop is.
I think that Coulter has a good idea for them all to get together and come up with some ideas.
Yes.
I'll call you.
That's better.
And then you guys
Speak up, he
figure out
can't hear
too
you.
about the trash pickup and all that kind of stuff. They,
So do we want to talk about this, or do
they
we
should be
want to?
working
Next
with
year,
you.
Yeah, or do we want to break it out link by
Yeah,
meeting?
that'd be talk to John.
Okay.
We just want us to call, we need extra garbage cans, so we just call John.
Just call John.
Public Works, yes.
Okay, and then who would I talk to about facilities and equipment?
Specifically,
We want to see if there is a tractor available, as well as somebody to operate it on Saturday and Sunday at South Rec
for
the Gymkhana and Underground Bull
We
Riding.
do have a tractor and a leveling, a groomer for that. We normally we usually get Tim Heiser will normally do that, but somebody's going to need to speak to him that he's available for those 2 days and cover his cost for his labor to come run it. But we do have a tractor and a groomer that
it's there.
it's there, but we like to have him run it so we don't end up with our dirt pushed out to the sides. He pulls it all
If he's
in.
cool with running it and work, and
Yeah, he runs it a lot. Yeah.
Do we have to come back and talk about that, or just do it?
Just do it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we just
And then we also wanted to find out about cleaning the bathrooms and the concession stand at South Rec prior to
Like
the
Friday,
26th,
prior to
Friday.
Somebody's usually recent.
Having the bathrooms and concession stand cleaned. Okay.
Okay, cool.
And then bleachers being moved around.
John,
Okay. Yeah, well,
Bleacher Wars.
I'll reach out to you about that, but we will have the final list of where bleachers need to be by June 15th.
It'd be good if you got a plan for all that stuff, to just come down the office and we'll just talk about what we can do and how we can illustrate it.
And then who would be in charge of a street sweeper after the
Additional
parade?
garbage
Public
cans.
Works.
John.
John? Dumpsters.
Looks like you and John need to have a lengthy conversation.
Okay, well, I'll take
Yeah,
the rest of
every
this
year.
up with
Yeah.
John, and if it's not something he covers, then he can point me in the right direction.
Yeah.
yes.
And then there's Chris, do you know there's a PA system here for out there that you could check out for your Gymkhana?
I did not.
Chris, there's a PA system here that you can check out. You get with
John.
Yeah.
you get with John,
This Army.
and that's all wired in for the
That's
the
nice.
thing above the chutes, not the little one. It's the big one is where all that stuff's wired in.
Okay,
There is that system here that you can use out there.
thank you. I wasn't aware of that.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
They're next on the list.
Yeah. Is there any other items from the floor? We have no new old business. Under new business, the first item of order under new business is an open, I believe the open container permit for Elevate for 2026 Deer Creek Days for locations of Town Park, South Rec, and
Mr. Mayor, since both of these are for Deer Creek Days for Elevate, can we do them, both of them at one time?
that would be, somebody would need to make that motion.
I move that we handle both of these permits that are for Deer Creek Days for Elevate as one issue.
Okay, that would be the open container permit for in the areas I just mentioned, and then malt beverage permit for 6/26 of 26 to 6/28 of 26.
So is that officially a motion?
Yeah, a motion to
I'll
approve.
officially second the motion.
Okay. Thank you, Russ.
I was just trying to read those out. So there's a motion and a second to approve, I guess, the open container and malt beverage permit for Elevate for Deer Creek Days.
There's nothing in here that I see different than the years past.
Always the same.
No, and
Do
just,
you have any questions, concerns, thoughts?
Nope.
just for the record, we scratched out Birch Street and Town Square because we're going to do a resolution.
Resolution.
That we've done in the past, the blanket resolution, so they really just needed the open container permit for Town Park and South Rec.
Yeah, 'cause we do a blanket one for downtown.
Right.
I'd like to make note that 4th Street's going to be tore up this summer.
True.
Probably Cedar clear to the cemetery. I don't know at what stage that's going to be. So when you're planning things, you need to be aware of that.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Next order of business is a special use permit for April 27th, 2026. Game and Fish will host an event at South Rec on May 8th, 2026. This event will involve archery and pellet gun use. They would like permission for a temporary lift on the following section 15-1-14. We've done all this. We've read this, the exact same thing for the last 3 years.
3 years.
And
So
things.
it's going to rain on May 8th, is what you're saying? 'Cause
Well, it
it's
could.
rain
Yes.
during this event.
It probably will. So is there a motion to issue the special use permit to the Wyoming Game and Fish for their event at South Rec?
I so move.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify. Any more discussion?
Coulter, you have no issues with it, do you? No. Okay. Agreed.
Very good program. No other discussion. I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed by nay. Motion carries. Our next order of business is Town of Glenrock Board and Commission application form. Michael F. Culling for a position on the Planning and Zoning Commission. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve Mr. Calling for the Planning Commission.
Here's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion.
How long is this term?
2, isn't it?
2 years?
2 years. There is an end to this sentence.
2 years plus.
Make sure they remind you, though. They'll just renew you.
Yeah.
You got plenty of time to back out now.
I'm going for the pay.
Oh, yeah.
The pay is excellent.
Pay is awesome.
Well, I'd like to thank Mike for stepping up and being willing to serve on this. I think he brings a very good background and will be a real asset to our Planning Commission. Thank you.
There's no other discussion. I will call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by nay. Motion carries.
Does that make the Planning Commission full at 5?
Our next order of business is a resolution number 2026-5, a resolution approving a plat of lots 1A and 1B of Sage Park Minor Subdivision, a county subdivision, Converse County, Wyoming. Whereas the town of Glen Rock has received a plat for lots 1A and 1B of Sage Park Minor Subdivision, a county subdivision, Converse County, Wyoming. Whereas the proposed subdivision of land lies adjacent to the town of Glen Rock, and the town of Glen Rock therefore requires it be given approval to for the purpose of subdivision in accordance with the Wyoming State Statute 34-12-103. Whereas the Glen Rock Planning Commission recommended approval of said subdivision at their April 7th, 2026 meeting, where there is no proposed connection of water or sewer to the municipal system, and now therefore be resolved by the governing body, the town of Glen Rock, Wyoming, that pursuant to the requirements of Wyoming State Statute 34-12-103, the Glen Rock Town County Council grants approval of the proposed replat of Lot 1A and 1B Sage Park subdivision, Converse County, Wyoming, passed and approved this 27th day of April 2026. Is there a motion?
I move that we pass resolution number 2026-5.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Everybody understand where it's at?
By doing this, it has no effect on the proposed Grove Street if it continues,
No.
correct? It's just right on the edge of it.
It's right there, and it's just adjacent to the golf club property. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those all opposed by nay. Motion carries. Our next order of business is our bills and claims. Is there a motion?
I move we pay our bills and claims.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, I will call for a vote to pay our bills and claims. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Pay our bills and claims. If there's nothing else to come before this meeting this evening, I would entertain somebody to make a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Meeting adjourned.
Wow, this is very helpful, big ones like this, so we can say very helpful. I like the big picture like that. The class, it's very,
So you know, I did have it.